And if you go by that small town and approach a small house at the sunset, you might catch a glimpse of the child still staring into the sunset. And if you ask him what he's looking for, he will turn to you and smile. This segment is from a story called Hope and Despair by Tao. Everyone feels hopeless at one time or another, and that's fine, but eventually we have to bounce back. I chose this story because I believe it's a great story that can inspire people to be hopeful even through their darkest times. Once upon a time, in a small town far, far away, a child was born, and he was named Despair, and they named him True, for he had an old soul and a tired soul, and while other children would reconcile themselves to the tragedy of birth soon enough, Despair never did. While others woke to see the morning, he would see the coming night, and where he walked, the child seemed darker. As he grew, he would carry that child with him, while other children took dares and risks, knowing they were invincible. He would stay in caution, knowing they were not. No surprise then that he lived a lonely life for a dozen years, for no one desires to be shown a fool, child, or adult. For a dozen years, the routine never changed, and if he was happy or if he was sad, no one could tell, not even him. For a dozen years, and one day, it all changed as life will. A family moved in down the road. Some say from the big city, some say from another country. In the end, it doesn't matter to the story. What does matter is that they brought hope with them. And she was bright, young thing, always with a laugh and a smile for everyone. Always with a grand new plan and an eye for the next hill. Wherever she went, she brought a ray of sunshine, and many would compare her to a spring day. Perhaps you will not be surprised, but all stories turn this way. The hero met the heroine, and both knew each other in a point that they had always missed. Perhaps you might not be surprised, but the townspeople were light and darkness, morning and night. Were these two in their friendship a puzzlement to all? For where she would run and laugh, he would walk slowly along where she always did, always looking for the next hill to climb and river to cross. He would pause and hesitate, murmuring that the next rise was the same as the one before, and that rivers just got feet wet. For 2 glorious summers, these two were inseparable, journeying from school to home, between here and there, searching for adventure in time and place. But all things changed as they must, and one day even hope walked, bowed and closed and was scared. They told her it was curable, that it was no big deal. They told her that she'd be perfectly fine, and the medicine that they asked her to take would take care of it all. They told her that the move was temporary, but we never tell children the whole truth, do we? And children being children know that we lie and play along, and so they tell us adults the truth that we wish to hear. And between themselves, they tell the truth of their fears, their dreams, and their nightmares. In the beginning, the blast flowed frequently, crossing one another in the deepest part of the night, each written as its author nature dictated. But as all things do, the lie became less and less frequent. Hope moved often, each time to seek a new doctor, a new drug, a new miracle, and with each move, the lies grew less frequent, till one day they stopped. Once upon a time, far, far away, here a child was born, and he was named Despair, and he was named True. And if you go by that small town and approach a small house as the sun sets, you might catch a glimpse of the child still staring into the sunset. And if you ask him what he's looking for, he would turn to you and smile and say, hope.